What's up, everyone? You're tuned in to a very live Tim and Tam podcast, Tam Talks podcast. What's up, Tim? How are you tonight?
What's up, Tam? I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm hungry. I'm hungry, but I'm doing good. Excited. We got a lot to talk about today. So I want to go ahead and jump into these topics. But before I do, did you have something you want to start off with today?
Nope. We jumping in. Nope. We just gonna dive right in. Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome to another conversation with Tim and Tam Talks, the Back Pew. I'm your co-host Tim Nicholas, and I'm here with my lovely sister, Miss Tam Watts, and we are just gonna get it popping tonight, having just some great conversations every Tuesday during this time that we're doing the Church Board with Childhood Trauma series. We want to come in and kind of just keep it a little light and just talk about things that are happening in pop culture. So go ahead, Tam, take it away.
All right, Tim. So we're gonna start with one of your topics, and this conversation gonna get a little bit spicy. So the topic at hand was let that man smash. He flew you out. So I can't help but to be offended by this title. Okay, this whole thing. So I'm very interested in and what this conversation is going to bring to us. Did we have a video? I feel like there was a video, Tim, that you shared with us for this particular one. So let's actually get into that video.
A girl out that they should be flying them out. They supposed to have sex with them.
For sure.
They got to give up that.
If you
pussy.
get on that motherfucking plane and then you touch down and you ain't giving that pussy, bitch, I got you a return flight before you even put your bag down.
Well, my mind. Well. So Tim, I gotta ask you: have you ever flew somebody out before?
Absolutely, yes.
And did you expect that she should put out because you flew her out?
Absolutely, yes, I did at the time. Absolutely, definitely not flying you out without some hopefully promises of some adult extracurricular activities going on. Absolutely. However, let me first say that was horrible, faulty thinking on my part. Because I mean, while you do think like as a man and as a person, you like, listen, I'm investing this time and everything else, but there's still an ulterior motive to it, right? And so, while I had that same mentality in the past, like, yeah, you need to be putting out. That's definitely not the way to go. Because I've been disappointed too, because I was expecting it and it didn't happen, then I would be like, dang, this is a waste of time, a total waste of time. But once again, it was bad thinking on my part.
Hmm. Hmm. My mind. Well. Look, I'm gonna chime in and say I've gotten flown out before and have not had sex. I've also had dates where we flew somewhere together and then came right back, and I still did not put out. So perhaps they were hoping I would smash. I don't know. And with that mindset, I mean, does every man think this way? If they feel like they paid for a flight that the woman should put out, I thought men could do nice gestures and not expect for the woman to even have that mentality. Isn't that what y'all trying to tell us? If y'all nice, that don't mean it's a relationship or this and that.
I'm not gonna speak for every man out there, fellas. If you were in the chat, go ahead and put out there, what would you expect if you flew a woman out where you were, no matter where you were in the world? Would you expect her to put out? Most men, I would probably say yes, they would expect that because we are physical creatures. We also, 9 times out of 10, we objectify women. So there is an ulterior motive to when we fly someone out, we expecting to get the booty. Not saying it's right, because and then there's some situations where you genuinely like the woman, and of course that doesn't happen, and maybe there's a boundary that's already put up. I just think that above all, from a man's standpoint, we could do better with that kind of thinking.
Stinking thinking. It's trash. It's trash. Throw it out
Thinking,
here.
thinking. I am definitely being honest by saying I had that same thought process, but nah, it's just not good to have any type of um unspoken expectations of someone. Now, if you say that on the front end, now if you're upfront and honest with a woman and you tell them that up front, like, I'm gonna fly you out here, but I'm expecting something, and that's the agreement that y'all make, that's something else. But if, as a man, if you want to wine and dine her and fly her out and all that, and you don't make that intention or expectation clear, then you're wrong in that thinking. So, because if we're consenting adults and we agree to that, there's nothing wrong with that. That's nobody else's business but the two of y'all. But when it comes to just an unspoken expectation, once again, that's the wrong part of the thinking, in my opinion.
No comment. All right, let's go to the next topic, Tim. So this kind of segues into another topic that you brought to my attention, which was, can you have friends of the opposite sex? And I think this was specifically talking about, like, I don't know if it was dating or mostly marriage, but I think we have a video that also coincides with this one. So let's get into what he actually said.
I'm a married man. I don't have any female friends. Well, your life sucks. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry you don't have any female friends. That is crazy. I'm a woman. I don't have any male friends. I only have female friends. Only male friend I have is my husband. Dang, you don't have a brother? You don't have any spiritual brothers? Man, that's crazy. And now look, if you need that because you're so horny and your penis is so wild that at the very mention of another woman or close proximity with her, your peen's like, maybe you need to go to therapy. Yay! But I have god sisters that have literally spent the night at our house with my wife here. I'm not attracted to them. They're my sisters, and ew. Let's stop acting like every man and woman in a room is now just a penis and a vagina, and there's no way they won't come together. If you are dating somebody, establish the type of boundaries that honor both God and the person you are dating. And if the person has a discomfort with something you are doing, before you get defensive, become curious as to why it pissed you off.
I got deep. I'm gonna let you start this one, Tim, since it was
Nope, I started the last one. You start this one. I'm curious what you think about this one. So, can you have friends of the opposite sex, Tim? If you're in a relationship, or if you decide to get married again, would you have friends of the opposite sex?
I would personally say that's not my boundary. I feel like I have guy and female friends, so I would assume that whoever I'm in connectivity with would also have guy and female friends, and I say that because some of my friends are business partners. Some of them are just friends that I could talk to and get counsel from, or pray with. Like you have friends for every bucket in your life. For every season, I have a friend, somebody I could call. So for me, I wouldn't mind it if my husband or person that I'm dating had friends of the opposite sex. Like, I'm not insecure in that way. And I feel like I would say I've been in a situation when I was married, my ex-husband, when we first got married, he didn't want me to have any guy friends. And I literally had to call like my guy friends, like, I can't be friends with you anymore. And they were like, what are you talking? Like, what? I was like, yeah, I'm being disrespectful to my husband, talking to guys, And at that time, that was his boundary, and I respected his boundary until I woke up and was like, okay, why do you have this boundary? I started to ask questions, and I realized he had that boundary because he couldn't control himself around females. So he thought, or he assumed, that I would have the same type of conversations that he was having with, people of the opposite sex. So, for me, it wouldn't be a big deal. So yes, You can have friends of the opposite sex. What about you, Tim?
I think it's okay if they are pre-existing relationships for the most part, and I feel as though it's boundary based. So if we do have friends of the opposite sex, you know, and you're in a relationship or a marriage, that other person has to be comfortable with that friendship, and if they're not, you have to cut it off. No matter, I don't think there's any explanation that needs to be had. If that person is not comfortable with your friendship of the opposite sex, you just need to remove it, because the last thing you want that situation to happen, or something to happen, you want that there'll be a wedge between your relationship because you still want to hold on to a friendship, and that's out of order. And so I don't see it as being a problem. I do believe, especially, we're all brothers and sisters in Christ. If that's the relationship that is carried on, you have to use discernment in those situations. But I don't necessarily see it being wrong on either side. If you don't have friends of the opposite sex, there's probably a reason why you shouldn't. There's probably a reason why you should not have friends of the opposite sex. And if you do, you just have to establish boundaries and make sure that other person or the other friends that you have at opposite sex, they respect your marriage, they respect your relationship, they respect the person that you're in a relationship with. They can honor those things. But I mean, everyone's situation is different. So it's really not cookie cutter for every situation. It really has to be established between your spouse or your significant other and what they're comfortable with. If they're not comfortable with it, then you have to make that sacrifice and remove the relationship so that it's not drawing a wedge between your relationship at home. That's my opinion with it.
Yeah. I agree with some of what you said.
Hey, I get it.
No,
I
you're
get
right.
it.
I completely agree with, like, you do have to, make sure that your relationship is solid. And if that includes, look, I did it when I was married. That's what I bit the bullet. I bit the bullet because I wanted to keep the house with peace. So sometimes you have to do that, but it's always good to really understand and unpack. Sometimes it could be like an insecurity, or it could be something else. Sometimes it's okay to ask, why do you have this boundary? Why is this a boundary? And get to the root of that. And sometimes you'll uncover and discover some things that might be more beneficial to your relationship, rather than just being like a stern, don't do this, kind of a thing. It's always good to communicate the why sometimes. But yeah.
For sure. And you got to question yourself too. I know there's been moments where I've even been insecure and even made some of the wrong choices, and and said, I don't think that person is a good fit.
Yeah.
And a mistake too. So it really depends on really where you're at within yourself, and really have to question your own stuff too. So.
All right, so let's get into a little bit of drama. So if you were online yesterday, Uncle Russ, does he have a bank? Uncle Russ, Yogi Russell Simmons, Mr. Peace, had some issues with his family. It was a little bit of family drama. And I want to get into and unpack like what went down online. And I'm just going to give you a preface of like what happened. So basically, one of his daughters went online and told Kimora, which is the mom, Happy Father's Day. And from there, it appears that Russell Simmons went off. He was unhappy with what was going on. He felt unappreciated. And so the daughters basically took to the online and with all of their emotions, including Kimora Lee Simmons. So let's actually get into that video in terms of what they said.
Yoki said, hold on. Wait, let me screenshot this. Hold on. Here, Aoki Lee Simmons. Aoki says, I have phone tapes of him threatening me. Now, y'all know. Why would Miss Harvard have to do that? Miss Harvard, you don't have to do that. I love you, baby. Mama has your back all the time. But you don't have to do that. And I know you're always worried Yoki.
I had not done anything to him. Anything he says that we've done is like, they didn't call me when I said call. They didn't post a picture of me on Instagram for my birthday. Like, we have done nothing but go to school and stay out of grown folks' business and don't worry about this over here. And it's my dad who, if you unblock him for 2 seconds, he starts telling you what a mother is. And how she's going to jail, and she's an illegal person, and she's the worst, and he can't wait to watch her go to jail and die. And like, anytime you unblock him for 2 seconds, at one point he lied and said he had COVID. And so we called him like, all right, you know, this is serious. Are you okay? And he's like, nah, I just faked that to tell you your mother's a bitch. And we're like, all right, good morning. You're 70. Like, grow up. And I never wanted to do this because I'm like,
All right, guys, I'm gonna cut that short just because there's no audio on that last video. We gotta read lips, and I don't know how to do that very well.
His eyes said it all. I mean, my man, he was going in.
You know, he was going in, and I think a lot of people were actually shocked from, I guess, the kids exposing this side of Uncle Russ, just because when you see him, he seems very zen. He seems very positive. They always do. Seems very positive, very zen, but behind closed doors, it sounds like he's a hellraiser to his kids and apparently his ex-wife. And, apparently his ex-wife. So what do you got to say, Tim?
I remember watching on Netflix. There was a Netflix comedy special back in 2017 where it was Def Comedy Jam 25th year anniversary, right? And you could just tell they were celebrating, you know, all the talent that had just come through Def Comedy over the past 20 years, 25 years, from Kevin Hart, Bill Bellamy, let's see, Dave Chappelle, D.L. Hewley, Steve Harvey, all these guys. But of course, it was a celebration of Russell Simmons bringing it together. Martin Lawrence was also there too. And there were times that you could even see Uncle Russ, even throughout the comedy special, where you could just tell he like, yo, wrap it up. Or he would just kind of give one of those looks like, yo. And really what that did for me, it just made me feel like, man, Russ is human just like anybody else. Now, I get frustrated sometimes just when stuff like this on social media comes up, because I just remember the days where we didn't know all this stuff about any celebrities. We didn't know about Brian McKnight being a bad dad. We didn't know about Dwayne Wade. You know, we wouldn't have known about Dwayne Wade's son having a sex change. We wouldn't have known about a lot of this stuff. So the fact that his daughter came out and talked about how she's not being well taken care of, or the kids aren't being well taken care of, and he's acting crazy and acting a fool and all that. To me, my question is, what's the end game here? What's the end game? Because now you are, for lack of better words, now the world sees your father in a different light. They see pretty much a lot of pettiness going on, and we all have family drama. It's just not publicized like it is with celebrities. And so how are you going to deal with your family drama? Going on social media talking negatively about him, is that really going to get him to open up his checkbook for you to pay his rent? Like, what is it going to happen? And even if he's showing you tough love, yo, you still are a person. You got to go get it. Whatever you got to do by any means necessary to get it, daddy ain't going to open it up. And sometimes I feel like we don't know the full story, number one. But also, the kids already feel like there's a sense of entitlement too. So it could be some of that too going on, where daddy's not paying my rent, he's not paying my rent. Oh, and then you want to air out all his dirty laundry like that's going to change it, because he came out with a statement and said, hey, I love y'all, like, you know, I love y'all to death. You know, I'm just showing y'all a little tough love right now. That was his statement after everything came out. So to me, it's like, what's the end game with this? I just don't agree with always knowing a celebrity's business. got my own business to take care of. I got my own stuff to take care of. And now we got to go on social media and see stuff on the Shade Room, which is they're very messy on there, by the way. And they talking about the same type of stuff about drama, stuff that we really don't like. We don't care about that. We got our own stuff. So that's just me. I'm old school. Some people might like that drama, but not me.
Yeah, I think you know, when I saw a couple different clips with the whole thing, I didn't really understand the backstory because I was like, he got this mad over, I guess, the daughter saying Happy Father's Day. Is this what triggered him?
So yeah, yep.
And I mean, I don't know though, Tim, because I feel like his kids have really been unproblematic for a year. Like, I really hadn't heard anything from the kids. So to see her kind of in this state, the child in this state, and then also saying, hey, I stay out of grown folks' business, but it's kind of gotten to this point where I feel like I have to say something. I feel like you're my dad, but you're harassing not only me, you're harassing my boyfriend, you're harassing my friends. I have to block you, you know, and then when I do talk to you, you know, I'm calling you thinking that you got COVID. I'm concerned. And the first thing you say to me is derogatory things to my mother. You know, that kind of thing gives me a little bit of pause, if I'm being honest with you, you know, and like a good narcissist would go back and say, well, I'm just giving you tough love right now, to try to act like he's that person, even though we do see him video looking like he was talking like a plumb fool. We don't know what he said. He could have been saying the sky's blue. I don't know. But I don't know. You're right. We don't know the full story. But definitely my heart does go out to, you know, them dealing with family issues. Like nobody wins when the family's hurting. Nobody wins. So heart definitely goes out for sure.
Mine does too. You know, we don't know the full story. However, we know that they're hurting. And I think that's the more important thing, is that we see, once again, a Black family put on Front Street where they're being hurt. And that's another topic too. How often are we seeing other races and cultures doing this as much as we do it? And so we just got to be careful. It's kind of messing up the Black family in a big way when we do stuff like that. And we air out our laundry. We don't keep it in house. So it's just, I do feel bad for them overall, you know, because for the most part, we've heard Russell and Kimora Lee Simmons, their divorce has been pretty amicable for years, very amicable up until this point. So you didn't really hear a lot of negativity between, you know, Russell, Kimora Lee, the kids. You didn't hear a lot of that stuff. So for all parties involved, I really pray that they get the help and the counseling that they need. I
agree. All right, let's go to the next topic. So the next topic is boss chicks aren't wife material. And this is actually one of my topics, guys, because I saw this fine young gentleman tell women everywhere that if you are like a woman of ambition, you are not wife material. And I actually have a video. So let's jump into the video before we give our thoughts, or I'm going to give my thoughts on this whole thing.
A boss chick doesn't come with feminine energy.
What does she come with?
And so,
be quiet, Joe.
according to how we are defining a boss chick today, she does not come with feminine energy. It is not going to mesh with this masculine energy. We're going to be in arguments. We're going to be in a disagreeable house at home. When I say we're not eating meat, we're not eating this, because we're building this and we're going to make sure our children don't have diabetes and they're obese. It's not a conversation.
When you even a dude after him laugh.
This is a moment of silence for that guy. So should I start or should I let you start, Tim? Because I would absolutely love, look at the drama. So, okay, anytime I hear a man say this, immediately what I look for is his wedding ring, and I did not see one. Okay, so that's the first thing I look for when a man is giving a woman advice. And it's so weird that my pastor, T.D. Jakes, just said if he hears another person that's not married talk about what a woman should be, or a woman tell a man what he should be, he's going to scream. So TDJs, please scream, because I was screaming when I was watching this. I just feel like, why would you not want a partner? I hate to be like that, can hold you down, but why would you not want a partner that's fully a helpmate? And we talk about, I talk about my faith a lot, and it talks about everybody wants like a Proverbs 31 woman. That she was ambitious. She sold like, if you actually read the passage, she gets up in the morning, she sells stuff, like she goes out and get it the same way the man does. Is she a provider? No, but she's a helpmate, right? So you want somebody to be able to lean on should something in your house fall away, right? Why would you want somebody that is just there for a handout, is just there for what you can do? And I'm not saying that she has to be like boss at home, but she can be boss outside, and whatever you need her to be inside, right? She doesn't have to take your role because of what she does. And I tell people all the time, like, what you do is not who you are, it's just simply what you do. And too often do people tie their identity to what they do or what they have, but that's not the core or the nature of who people really are. And when I hear him, what I'm saying, what I hear is that his experience with a certain type of woman, his picker may be off. He may keep choosing the wrong type of woman. So his experience, he's trying to make his experience everybody's experience. And I've never heard anybody say that about me. And I'm very ambitious, right? So I just feel like it was all the way wrong. And I feel like we have to do a better job as a whole, with women not telling men how they should be and men not telling women how they should be. Like, your parents should have told you that. And if your parents didn't tell you that, that doesn't give you the ability to try to speak from your hurt or your lack. That, read a book, go to therapy, get some skills, get a mentor, like plug into other men that could show you how to be men, and plug into other women that could show you how to be women. But this whole gender thing where we're cross telling men what they should do and women telling women what they should do, I feel like we have to stop doing that. We have to stop doing it. So that's what I got to say.
No, I know. I agree with you. I totally agree. Boss chicks aren't wife material. That's the title, right? So I'm gonna tie this in because I actually have one of these on.
Go ahead then, brother.
I'm an alpha man. I feel as though I carry pretty good leadership qualities, but I married an alpha woman too, who is a boss chick in her own way. She was a boss chick before I showed up in her life. And that's one of the things that I fell in love with, was the fact that she is a boss chick who knows how to get it without somebody handing something to her. And so the last thing I would want to do is change that in her because she's with a man. I wouldn't want her to change that perspective or that drive or that ambition simply because she's with a man. What we do, being an alpha man and an alpha woman, and she carries the house and she tell me what to do, how to do it. I help out where needed, all those types of things, but she runs this spot, man. You know what I'm saying? And respectfully, that's what leaders do. That's what us men are supposed to do. We're supposed to delegate leadership to our partners. That's what a real man does. And what you do in a marriage with a boss chick, so to speak, you let them thrive in that environment. You let them be themselves as long as they continue to respect you. And we have respect with one another on how we operate, period. Not just in the house, but when we talk about careers, when we talk about goals, when we talk about how to raise children, you need that. I didn't marry her to walk over her just because she's my wife. No, that's not what marriage is about, or relationship should be about. It should be about allowing that woman to thrive in your environment And if that means that she exhibits leadership qualities and skills as a boss chick, where she has had to be her entire life, then you allow her to thrive in that environment 100%, as long as there's harmony in the house. And that's what it is. And so I wholeheartedly respect women who are boss chicks, who have to get it, who want to get it, who are ambitious, no matter what. And just because she's a boss chick, or any woman is a boss chick, doesn't mean that she loses her femininity because she's a boss chick. So you got to carry that. And as a woman, you never know, she might be in a male-dominated field, and she got to have a little bit of masculinity to carry herself in that male-dominated field. But it's all about how we gotta operate depending on the situation. Sometimes you gotta turn that boss chick masculinity on when you out in the world. But then maybe with your husband, you gotta be a little feminine, a little soft in those moments. But even with your husband, you have to kind of be a boss chick in that situation too, and kind of take the lead on some stuff. So it really is about learning your partner and understanding who they are, and you allow them to thrive in that situation. So I totally disagree with this gentleman. He obviously don't have one of these on, and he probably won't have one on if he keep dealing with the same type of women. That's my opinion.
Message. I'm just kidding. All right, so let's get into, look, he lost me at, like, we not eating meat. I was like, I gotta give up meat too to be with the heck. No, ain't no way.
Right.
Ain't no way. All right, so we're gonna get into this last topic that you sent me. So yesterday was Juneteenth. So to everyone that's watching, if you didn't catch us yesterday, again, we want to say happy Juneteenth, especially for all the Texans out there. Happy Juneteenth. I hope you guys celebrated it well. Hopefully you got off of work, because it appears that Gayle did not get off of work. So let's actually get into that.
That's right. Happy Juneteenth to you. Is it lost on anybody that the only white guy at the table is off today to celebrate Juneteenth, and we're still here? glad to be here.
We are glad you're here.
I hope Tony's enjoying his Juneteenth holiday.
Oh boy.
It's messed up.
She said, they all say, we're glad to be here. I was like, no, they're not.
No, y'all not.
They all feel, they were pissed that they all were at work. I'm telling you, from Nate Burleson, the bald-headed dude, Gayle King, they all were like, man. And that's why she said it. They all said it while they were probably, waiting to come on the air. And then she probably was like, I'm going to be the one to say it because, hey, I got 25 years here. I can say whatever I want. So she really was echoing whatever they were thinking. And all they could do was laugh. But she was pissed. She was pissed she had to come to work yesterday when I'm pretty sure other counterparts on ABC or wherever else, they probably had the day off.
That's messed up. Did you have the day off yesterday?
No. Hey, I'm not going to say too much, but no, I did not have the day off.
That's messed up. I took the day. I took the day yesterday, so I did take. We have like a floating holiday in my company, so I went ahead and just took the day since I could have it. But yeah, I took the day.
So technically, you didn't have the day off. You took the day.
I took the day, but I got unlimited time, so I took the day. You know what I'm saying?
That's what Salesforce does. You got days.
Oh my gosh. All right. So that's all the topics we have today. So let's get into your final thoughts, Tim. What you got for us tonight?
Well, you guys heard a lot of the topics that we talked about. I think it's just been a great night. Great talk, Tam, as always. Looking forward to next Monday. We're going to really be diving into some triggers next week. So I'm looking forward to it. So Church Boy with Childhood Trauma, 7:30 next week, next Monday. Let's get it.
Aye. Those conversations. Final thoughts for tonight. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you're new here, go ahead and click that subscribe or follow button, depending on where you're watching us from, whether it be YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, wherever you're watching and catching the show. Please follow us so you don't miss now episode that we got Mondays at 7:30, Tuesdays 8:30 in that Central Standard Time. And also, final thoughts for tonight. Just don't get flued out because guys are expecting more from you. You can have friends from the opposite sex as long as your spouse or your person you're dating is okay with that. The yogi situation, we just gonna stay, like the daughter said, we gonna stay out of grown folks' business. Okay, that's what we gonna do tonight. And if you're a boss chick, continue being who you are, baby girl. Continue thriving, as my co-host said. And Gayle King, you right, because like how you still working, girl? And they was off. Like, how? Make it make sense. But yeah, that's all I got for tonight. Again, thank you guys so much for tuning in with us. My name is Tam, and my co-host, that is Tim. And this is the Tim and Tam podcast, or Tim and Tam Talks podcast, the Back Pew conversation. We'll see you guys next week on Monday at 7:30. Bye.
I'll let y'all. Peace.